South African President Cyril Ramaphosa touched down in the U.S. on Tuesday ahead of a high-stakes meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump. Ramaphosa will look to reset strained relations with Trump, who has taken aim at South Africa over the country's land reform policy and its genocide case against U.S. ally Israel before the International Court of Justice. South African officials have been preparing a trade proposal ahead of the Wednesday meeting with the aim of mending the relationship. A trade ministry spokesperson said Ramaphosa will offer Trump a broad trade deal. He also plans to discuss business opportunities for Tesla and Starlink, companies owned by Trump's billionaire ally Elon Musk, who was born and raised in South Africa and has amplified claims of anti-white racist policies that Pretoria rejects. Ramaphosa's spokesperson said discussions could include favorable tariffs for Tesla's imports into South Africa in return for building electronic vehicle charging stations and licensing for Starlink. South Africa's agriculture minister will be part of the delegation and says he wants to secure trade benefits for farmers. South African agricultural products currently enjoy duty-free access to the U.S. market under the African Growth and Opportunity Act. That's now at risk under Trump's tariff regime. The Trump administration also cut funding to the country in February and last week granted refugee status to a group of white South Africans it said were facing racial discrimination, a claim the South African government denies. Political analyst Talela Vika says Ramaphosa may take a consolatory tone with Trump.
There is no way that you can reset the current bilateral relations that are strained without giving the historical context of South Africa to a President Trump. And I think President Ramaphosa is poised to do that very well. So he understands the historical circumstances and the issues around the land expropriation in South Africa. So he would have to explain that to a President Trump. And remember, that explanation is happening against the narrative of a genocide.
30 years after the end of apartheid, white people, who make up about 7% of South Africa's population, are still richer than the black majority of about 82% by every economic measure and still own 3/4 of the country's freehold farmland.